The following audio may contain the personal testimonials of some OPTAVIA coaches or clients of OPTAVIA. The results relayed in these messages are based on the unique experiences of the participants, and we cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. While you may be inspired by these accounts, please note that any stories of success have not been verified and your individual path to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you consult with a healthcare provider before starting a weight loss program. Yours in health, the OPTAVIA team.
Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Optimal Health Party. I'm so excited that you're here because tonight you're going to learn lots of great information that can help you focus on an amazing life in 2019. You know, many of you that are joining us, and in fact, if you have a chance, look in the chat window. You can see right now, I think we've got over 700 people here all over the country, all over the world. In fact, we saw China represented. Super excited that you've decided to be part of our Optimal Health Party tonight. Our job and our role is to awaken your desire to make optimal health an amazing priority and actually show you how. So, there are parties going on all over the United States. We've got people in living rooms and businesses. We've got lots of folks joining us to learn more about how OPTAVIA and our amazing community can be a part of the transformation to support you long term. As I mentioned, it's the power of the community. We're all getting together to share this amazing gift. And so I wanted to just kind of open it up and say, many of you are here because you're looking to maybe lose weight. Many of you have been seeing all the amazing physical transformations all over Facebook. And, that's just a small piece of what we get to do, whether it be you want to become more physically fit, you want to learn how to eat better, you want to have more energy, maybe you just want to be a part of our community. And that's really what we're going to do tonight, is to share some amazing stories that will help really explain a little bit about how we've actually transformed our life. And so I thought I'd start with just a simple slide of my family. We're super excited about the new year and all the things that come with that. My picture off to the left, 11 years ago, back in 2007, I got connected to this amazing community and my life's never been the same. Not only did I physically get healthy, but I really learned a lot about who I am, a lot about myself. And I can honestly say that I would not have been able to make that transformation had it not been for our guest tonight, Dr. Wayne Andersen, who's the medical director and co-founder of OPTAVIA. More importantly, though, he's a visionary that really early on as a critical care physician took it to the next level and realized that he was on the wrong end of helping people put back their life in the emergency room. Dr. Andersen is the 10th board certified critical care physician in this country, pioneered critical care, but more importantly, understood the value of helping people transform their life and really take things to the next level. And so Dr. Andersen is our guest speaker tonight to help us really open up and awaken and help you understand that today and tonight, you actually have health at your fingertips, hope for the future, and in 2019, some amazing things are going to happen for you. So, Dr. Ed, I'd like to bring you on and have you share a little bit about your vision, what this meant for you, how we all got started, a little bit about what OPTAVIA is bringing to the world. Dr. Ed, I think you're muted.
Sorry about that. I didn't want to interrupt any of your wonderful, introduction there. It was great. So I hope everybody is enjoying this time. Happy holidays. It's a great time to be with your families, to be able to really kind of think the next week, as we're getting ready for the new year, reflect on all the wonderful things that happened and maybe some things that weren't so wonderful. And how can I make my life really around what Russ was talking about earlier? How can I organize myself and my life around the things that matter most to me? And, for me, it's great. I've got my daughters here and they've got all their friends over and they have a big fire going and they're all sitting around and talking and exploring. They're all in college, just starting college. My 8-year-old just starting college. And it's interesting because they're full of just energy and just reflection about all the possibilities that are there for them. And, I just want to stop for a moment as we start this call and really talk about that because, most people kind of kind of lost their way. You know, we're the first generation that the quality of life is less than a previous generation, according to the Gallup surveys. We're actually so worried about the future and anxious, about the future and some of the things that have happened in the past, that what we want to do at OPTAVIA, and what I've moved upstream and looked at, how do we help people change their lives? How do we really make a change? And as you can see on this slide, lifelong transformation, one healthy habit at a time. I wish tonight that, I could tell you about a pill you could take that could automatically make you healthy, make you more successful, bring great happiness, and put you in success in all the key areas of your life. It just isn't so. But we do know this. We do know that habits actually make the difference. Transformation requires us to change our habits. And at OPTAVIA, what we've done is we've spent now 17 years focused on how do we help people make a change in their life. And the world is moving so fast, most people are kind of worried about what's going to happen in the future. What's neat and what you're going to hear from tonight are some amazing leaders in this business on our mission to create a healthy America and very shortly the world. And I think it's great to see that we have people from Asia that are now on the line, because we're getting ready to target. We've been exporting obesity for years. It's really globesity. It's affected, as you can see here in the United States, it's a dramatic epidemic, but it's actually becoming a world epidemic, a global problem. And so we're excited about going as OPTAVIA kind of branches out internationally. We're going to go, we are the antidote to the food industry that's caused such a rapid increase in weight and a lack of weight management in the Asian countries as well. But here in the United States, that's where we are today. That's where we sit. And yes, maybe you're here tonight because you were at a party and a button flew off and it was your sign from the Celestial Committee that you needed to make a change. Or maybe you're just deciding that, you know what, I want this year to be different. And why I'm glad you're here, because you're going to hear about real changes, real people, as Russ said. And it's not just, their weight. It's about how they move, how they sleep, how they handle stress, how they deal with relationships, looking at potentially what their future may hold. All those things are embodied in what we like to call the trilogy of optimal health, which has to do with our healthy body, our physicalness, our mind. It's such an important part. And as I've been evolving my trainings and my teachings, really focusing on helping people be able to put their head, their mind where they want, when they want, for as long as they want. And then obviously the success is more than the physical nature of finances, the transactional part. It's actually the abundance, being able to do the things. And just some of the pictures I saw you had with your family, Russ, the things that I'm able to do. I just came back from with my girls from skiing. We went out and spent a week skiing, have a very dear friend that's a ski instructor, so didn't have to wait in the lines. And it's really those memories that makes it so exciting. It's being able to spend the time with the people that you really are most important in your life. So love all that. So Russ, let's move it on.
Well, thanks, Dr. A. One of the things I want you to lay out, though, for folks is, as you were building OPTAVIA, maybe just share with everyone a little bit about the background of how OPTAVIA came about, and a little bit about your transition from critical care to really formulating this life path for folks, and really talk about the four components. And we're going to have our guests break each one of them down, but I kind of want to have you set the stage for everyone.
Sure, we'd be glad to do that. As the co-founder of OPTAVIA, it really started a physician realizing that medicine was broken. What had happened is we were really responding and reacting to what was wrong with people, not really creating health for anybody. And in the 20 years I ran a very busy intensive care, and I was the chairman of my department, I never got anybody healthy. I kept them from dying, which they were very appreciative of, but really never created health, and they would keep coming back. And I felt kind of like Groundhog's Day. So I decided to move upstream. And when I went out to look at what was being done to help people create health, I was pretty much aghast. The epidemic of obesity, which we talked about a little bit ago, people were using diets, and 85% of people that went on diets gained their weight back within 2 years. So I started looking at what really worked, and there was very little that had really been put together. So what's over the last 17 years, the four icons you see here are literally the infrastructure and support piece that makes OPTAVIA what it is. And we'll go over each one with one of our leaders talking about it from their vantage point. But just as a whole, when you look at it, and we'll start with Corinne. So Corinne, how are you?
I am great, Dr. A. How are you?
I'm great. I love looking at these pictures. It's always so cool to watch, because sometimes I don't remember how you looked before you incredibly transformed into this absolutely beautiful woman. So, and you were beautiful before on the inside, but now it's inside, outside, both, right?
Yes, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, when I found this plan in 2011, I am a breast cancer survivor. I had breast cancer 13 years ago. And what we learned at the very beginning of me being diagnosed with breast cancer, I was thin. But, you know, doing all the blood work and so on for surgery and so on, we found that my triglycerides were up about 800. And I was just about 102 pounds when I was diagnosed. And, you know, we kind of bypassed that, you know, and actively treated for breast cancer. And during the course of those 5 years of treatment, I popped on 80 pounds and surviving after chemo and radiation and depression and so on. Life just hit me. I found myself after breast cancer, you know, after surviving with this 80 pounds, and I tried a bazillion diets, and they would work temporarily, like you were saying, Dr. A. And then I took a couple of pounds off, but they started to creep back on. And I was in church, and my pastor was away on a pilgrimage, and he came back, and I looked at him, and I was like, "What happened to you? Did you like get a parasite?" He was away, and he was thinner when he came back, and I thought he got like a parasite. And he said, "No, I got a health coach and I got a health plan." And I said, "Really?" And he introduced me to my health coach, and we stepped in. I said to my coach, when I first found this plan, I wasn't in a great financial place, being a single mom and working through chemo. I'd go to chemo and go to work, so I wasn't in a great place financially. But I said to her, "I have 1 month, let's do this." And she was awesome, and she partnered with me. And we're going to talk about health, you know, the purpose of a health coach in a few minutes. But, you know, I lost that weight in just a couple of weeks, and my world kind of blew up. You know, the world is hopeless. And if you guys are feeling hopeless at this point, facing a new year with another New Year's resolution, saying, again, I want to lose weight, I'm so glad you guys are here. So, Russ, Dr. A, do you want me to talk about the purpose of a health coach here?
Sure. Yeah, because I think it's so important. You know, having a guide on the journey. You know, to do it alone is virtually impossible. So yeah, talk a little bit about how your coach helped you, and now as a coach now, how you're helping others.
Yeah, you know, so when I said to my coach Marge, I said to her, I have this 1 month, and she said, "Okay, let's roll up our sleeves. We're going to follow this plan that the incredible Dr. A created." And I lost that weight. She helped me stay accountable, and taught me how to do that. So if you're here listening on how to coach, we help you do that by coaching you. And you know, I stayed accountable. I was caring, knowledgeable. You know, I do that today, and she did that for me. It's that one-on-one support. It's just, as Russ has this slide here, healthy lifestyle program. You know, also having that coach as you're walking through this, you do hit bumps along the way, and it's personal. You know, we explored my why. One of my whys was, of course, I wanted to be here for my 2 sons. And I wanted, when I stepped into coaching, first off, it keeps me accountable. You know, I would have gained all my weight back in 5 minutes flat if I wasn't a coach paying. Who goes to a dentist that has rotted teeth? Seriously, nobody, right? So who would go to a coach that can't help their own weight? So we stay accountable. You know, when I'm coaching somebody, I'm coaching them, and I'm also, you know, helping myself by helping somebody else. And, you know, we provide that encouragement and that support from day one all the way up until now, up until today. You know, I always have support, and I'm always supporting my clients.
What I love you said is that, and it's not that you have to be a perfect weight to coach. Not at all. Actually, Shirley Mass is going to be our last speaker, and she, you know, lost over 200 pounds, and she was doing that. She was coaching, and by being part of the community, reaching out and helping others, it helps you. So yeah, it makes you focus more on it. And the other part, which I love, Corinne, was that, you know, This is not a magical amulet that, like I said earlier, we have a pill for you. What it is we are a support structure with a coach to help guide you to the habits of health, use our feelings, and we're going to talk about each of the other components as well. But the most important part is that as you're working together, you're not going to be perfect. You're going to screw up. We all screw up. We're human. And, you know,
That's right.
I watched you actually go through a period, you were doing well, and then you kind of backtracked a little. And now you've finally gotten all the parts working for you. And now you moved on and you're at the top of the business and your whole life has changed forever. So, you know, that's
So
what
different.
I'm about. We're about getting it real. We're not about sitting here. We've got the magic info. What we do have is we have caring people, like you said, like yourself. And I've watched how many people you've helped. So thank you. Thank you so much. And really excited. And you're a great representation of what I'm looking for an OPTAVIA coach. So thanks so much.
Thanks, Dr. Ray.
We're going to move on now. And I want to talk about another great guy. God, he really looks cute in that bathing suit, actually. I didn't really see that picture of not so much in the one with the life vest, Dan, but I'll tell you, Dan comes from ministry and, you know, as a pastor, has to deal with all the things of all the people, always there to absorb like a sponge everybody's issues. And with that, you know, obviously they not financially paid. It's really, you know, as we like to say, God's work. And so he kind of got into the left side of that. And I've watched this guy become one of our top leaders and a great personal friend as well. And he and his lovely wife are helping us change the world. So Dan?
Hey, Dr. A.
Hey, buddy.
First of all, let me just say, I am beyond grateful for you and this vision that you had. I mean, you didn't even know I existed when you launched this thing, and it would be the very thing that saved my life and my family's lives, gave my family a new dad and a new husband. So anyway, not to get melodramatic about it, it's a big deal to me.
I love that, Dan. And, you know, that's hopefully everybody listening tonight. We're not perfect. We're humans, but we care. We really care. So.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, my story is, you know, like you said, Dr. A, you know, when I was in my 20s, I was ready to kind of take on the world, you know, do huge things. I was a big dreamer. I always was since I was a young kid, and was in relatively good shape and kind of had everything going. And, you know, I woke up one day about 15 years later, and well, I was that guy in that life jacket on the left. And I literally like looked in the mirror, and actually I saw this picture. It was from a trip I was on with my wife, Megan. And I saw this picture and I thought, who is this guy? What happened to this guy that used to, and it wasn't just, you know, the picture is important, not because of the weight or what I look like. It was a representation of what I felt like on the inside. One of the greatest compliments I got when a friend of mine introduced me to this program, and I fell in love with it from the beginning. I mean, it was super simple. It was finally something I could do after trying to get in the gym every January for a decade, you know, and then feeling like more of a failure after. This is something I could do with a busy schedule. It was simple. It was laid out for me. But the biggest compliment that I got, I remember a friend who's actually a health coach now, very successful one with OPTAVIA. He said the reason he had asked me about it, ended up signing up, and he told me later, he said, the reason that I wanted to come on board is not because of the weight you had lost, but because of the look in your eyes. And he said, your eyes are smiling now. He could see it in a picture. And that just describes my life. I mean, that's the bottom line. I got a new lease on life. I feel like that young guy, you know, from 20, 30 years ago. How old am I? Yeah, 3 or 4 years ago when I was 21. But so just thank you. Really easy program. And one of the biggest things I wanted to jump into, one of the components is this, the habits of health system, the healthy mind. And, you know, Dr. A, when I started this, I was starting a diet. I'll be honest. A friend of mine had lost 100 pounds, and I'm like, hey, if he can do it, then I could do it. I know him, right? And but what I got was a new mind. I'm convinced that we are as much a healthy mind, personal development, personal growth company as we are anything else, because that's the biggest change that you can't see on the outside. But my family will tell you, the people closest to me, is this mind up here has changed. And that's through, you know, I got it sitting right here. Your Habits of Health was absolutely revolutionary to me as I worked through it. And I love how it breaks things down into the micro habits. It's not like, hey, here's 100 things you got to do, all at once. It's just little things that anybody can do. And what happens is over time, you turn around and your whole mind is transformed. And so here I am now, 4 years since I lost 80 pounds, and I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm losing a little bit of my hair here, so if you can come out with something for that, that'd be cool. But health-wise, I'm in the best shape of my life 4 years after losing the weight. So thank you, and the Habits of Health and the Healthy Mind was a huge part of that.
Yeah, you're welcome, Dan, and thank you so much, because what's really great is that we're making a difference. I helped 2 or 3 people in the ICU keep from dying, but there's 8.5 billion people in the world, and so many of them are suffering. So many people need help. And I think what Corinne was saying earlier, and I know, Dan, you saw that a lot in the ministry, is that people really, they're struggling for hope. They have faith, but then the rest of the world seems to be collapsing on them. And so that's what we're about. And so the structure of the Habits Health system is designed, and it's transforming. It's actually becoming a transformational system as we continue to improve it. And it's really becoming a place where clients and patients can move at their own pace and make the change. And that's just like you said, those baby steps, because, unless we can do something and do it every day, we never change. Right. So that's kind of the cool thing. And that's what I love. I love what's happened, and you've helped so many people. And I appreciate all the time and effort you and Megan and your family have put into this, and all your coaches. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Honor. Dr. A, what I love is you talk about 1 million people, and this just makes it a little more real. I'm one of those. So thank you.
I love it. I love that. I really appreciate that. Cool. Well, we're going to move on to Donna now. Donna, how are you doing tonight?
Hey, Dr. A, I am doing great, thanks to this life-changing program, to share my story, because I was just like everybody else, sitting there wondering what's next in my life. And I had become a little bit of an observer in my life. So my health journey with OPTAVIA began 8 years ago, and I was miserable. I was miserable in every single area of my health. My body, my weight, my mind, my relationships, my finances, my job, miserable. But you know what? You never would have known it. From the outside looking in, you would not have known it. In part because my job I was a professional public relations person. I did marketing. And so it was my job to have a smile on my face. And like Dan shared, the smile is everything. When you see it in the eyes, it's legit. I wasn't smiling in my eyes. And I watched one of my friends who was utilizing this program, and she was losing some weight, and true health coach confessions, that's all I cared about at the time. I just wanted to stop being fat. I had stepped on the scale and saw a number that I never thought was possible. I was not fitting in my clothes. I was avoiding social situations because I was miserable. So I hopped on this program just completely skeptical and reluctant, figuring whatever, I'll give this a try. And so quickly, my life just completely changed. I couldn't believe how in my first handful of days, I felt so much better. Unbelievable. So fast forward, I ditched 48 pounds. I look at that picture of me with the beer kind of slumped over, pretending to be out and social, and just egads is what I say when I see that. But I love seeing it because it's a reminder of the reality of where I was and where I had the opportunity to get to. We all have this same opportunity. This is the best part about this call. Each and every one of us has the same opportunity to be part of something bigger. But I am going to tell you, the fat that I ditched from my head and my thinking and my concepts was life-changing. So life-changing that I had to start paying it forward. But let me share a little part of my story here. I was about probably halfway through my personal weight loss story, and I got fired from my job. It was humiliating, embarrassing. I felt shamed, but at the same time, I felt a weight being lifted from my shoulders. And I was in such a great place with my own health journey. I kept going on. People kept asking me, what are you doing? What are you doing? And my coach said, why don't you pay it forward? So that's exactly what I did. And indeed, it has helped me be accountable to my own weight loss again, the fat from my body, yes, but the weight loss from my head, my concepts and my thinking, so important. And, you know, you see the picture of me there with Dr. Jonathan Yellowchuck, who is my partner in life. I actually met him through OPTAVIA, and he is the love of my life. Results not typical, by the way. When you come in, you may or may not find the love of your life. I did, and I'm so grateful. And now we partner and have a team that we get to lead and live in community with one another, which is the third component of our amazing program, living in community with each other. So yes, you have an amazing health coach that comes alongside you as your personal guide, like Corinne was sharing, and you get to use these habits of health that Dan was sharing, and you get to do all of it within our community of like-minded, like-hearted people. We're all journeying toward our best health ever. We are all perfectly imperfect. There's no such thing as being perfect, but we can be perfectly imperfect, and we can embrace that. So we have everything from local and virtual support. We have private Facebook pages. I love our private Facebook page because it is like a virtual family living room. I say, come on in, kick off your shoes, put your feet up, and share successes and high fives with each other. Share struggles, share tips, share recipes. It's such a beautiful place to come together. We have a toll-free number for nutrition support. We have weekly support calls. There are videos that you can just go to a library and watch whatever is on your heart, whatever you need to be ministered to about, to listen to hear for yourself. You can go and learn those things. There are so many things that are available to us through our community. I was actually talking with a brand new client who signed up earlier today, and when I was sharing this part about community, she said, "This is amazing. I never knew something like this existed." And I said, neither did I. And that's why I'm so thankful that we're all here tonight sharing this, because it's just something that we want to shout from the rooftops. So no matter where you are right now in your own personal journey, there is hope. Best news ever, there is hope, and it is for you. Thank you so much for allowing me to share my story tonight.
Awesome, Donna. Thank you so much. And it sounds almost like utopia, but the cool thing about it isn't. It's what we like to call protopia, which means is organizing your life, making a decision, awakening yourself, say, you know what, I'm raising my hand. I'm tired of being sick and tired. I want to move forward, and everything can change. And it happens because of the work, not only the coach, but the work that you put in as the individual, because that's what we're about. We're about helping people that want to be helped. You know, we're not for everybody. If you want someone else to do it for you, you come to the wrong place, because it requires work for us to change. But the cool thing is the journey to optimal health and well-being is the most incredible journey. And everyone that's talked so far, I just watch, because since I did create it, I've got to watch all of you transform, and it's magic. It really is magic. So Donna, thank you so much. That was awesome. And I can see you're just glowing in all areas of your life. Cool. So,
hey, Dr. A, if you don't mind, I want to kind of get a little bit of feedback in our chat room tonight. You know, many of the people that are watching us today have had amazing transformations already. And so if you're listening to us tonight and you have access to your computer or your phone, and you want to put in the chat line, maybe how much weight you've lost, and if you've been on our journey for a while and you've been maintaining a weight for a period of time, put that in there to encourage other people. And then also, if you're here for the first time and you're learning about all of the amazing support, the value of the coach, how our Habits of Health system integrate in what our clients get as part of our program, and you're looking to maybe make a transformation in the new year, will you just drop how much weight you'd like to lose and the number one motivation that you want moving forward to incorporate in your life based on everything that you've heard so far? So if you could do that, we could get some great interaction. I'm sure you'll be encouraged by those people that have gone before you. Doctor, I'm going to have you introduce a very, very special guest as we kind of go towards the end of our presentation today to talk a little bit about the next phase of our program.
Yeah, well, this is this individual I know very well. Both Lori and I have had the opportunity to coach Shirley directly over the last 6 years, and it's been an amazing story. You can see, looking at the left, she was quite large, and you know, and was really a great model for me in evolving the Habits Health system. Watching her do something that virtually hardly anybody can do. Someone that basically can lose a large, significant amount of weight and keep it off for more than a very short period of time is less than 1 in 1,000. Because in general, what happens is people try to do it with a diet, a restrictive period of time when you pretty much starve yourself or are eating pineapples or whatever, gosh, the latest fad is. And what we do is something very different. And what I love about Shirley is Shirley has been a great advocate for what we're doing. And I've watched her change. And as you can see, she's become kind of famous. She's been in Women's World, and her story is incredible. Shirley.
Well, boy, I tell you, Dr. A, that's a tough one to follow up. First of all, Russ says, everybody in the chat box, talk about how your lives have been transformed. And I'm getting misty from that. And then I get an introduction from you like that. Oh, my word. It is such an honor and a privilege to be here tonight. And part of the reason why that Women's World magazine came into being, why we did that, was to share the hope of what could be. Because it was nearly 8 years ago that when it came to my health, I had very little hope. My health was at a desperate place. I weighed close to 400 pounds. And it was at that point that my physician came to me. He said, I think this program will help you. Was really at that point, I was 48 years old. And because of my health condition, assumed that I probably wouldn't get to see my 50th birthday. So I assumed I wouldn't get to meet grandchildren. I wouldn't get to do a lot of things that most people take for granted because my health had gotten to such a desperate place. So when my physician said to me, try this program, I think it'll help you. Well, I didn't for a second think it would work, but I didn't have the nerve, fortunately, to tell him that I wouldn't try. So this is the level of skeptic that I was at. And some of you who are listening may be at that very same place. You may be looking in this and thinking, couldn't possibly happen. Seems too good to be true. So when my coach said to me, how much weight would you like to lose? I said, well, wouldn't it be awesome to lose 50 pounds? I didn't think I'd lose 25. But like one of my colleagues shared this evening, very early on discovered how good I felt. I was 2 weeks into the program and I thought, my goodness, I'm not hungry between meals. I've got energy. The weight's coming off at a kind of a crazy rate that sort of just amazed me. And I thought, oh my word, I'm not going to lose 25 pounds. I'm not going to lose 50 pounds. I'm going to lose all of it. I went on to lose 215 pounds. And that was over 6 years ago. I'm coming up actually on 7 years, Dr. A. It's been a long time.
That's
and
right.
I think the thing that I'm amazed about this is not only, this weekend, my grandbabies will be coming to our home and I will be sitting on the floor to play with them because I can. And I will be able to be the vibrant and healthy grandmother that I've always wanted. Well, I never even dreamed that I could be. But what I would say to those of you that are watching this, to say, you're watching this and you're saying, I don't know, I don't think it could be. Just take the next step. Take the next little step. Contact the person who invited you onto this call and say, okay, I saw this person. She said she lost all this weight. Would it be possible? And for some of you, you don't need to lose 200 pounds. Maybe you just need to lose 20 pounds to get to your fighting weight again, But wherever you're at, take the next step. Now, earlier, I think it was Donna that mentioned something about having all this extra energy. And that's one of the things that I found early on. And I'll tell you some of the secret behind that. The fourth component to our program, and part of the reason why I was so successful in losing the weight, is our Fuelings. So with our program, you're eating 6 times a day. How many of you can eat 6 times a day? You're saying, yes, really, I can get to eat that often. You're eating every 2 to 3 hours. You're drinking a good amount of water. For a lot of you, I suspect you're probably not drinking 64 ounces of water. Some of you may choose to drink more, but I found that getting the good nutrition in, the fact that I was getting nutrient-dense meals, I was getting a mixture of protein and carb, I had the backing of a scientifically proven program that was really important to me. And so I found that not only was it giving me the right nutrition for every stage of the journey, but it made the whole process simple. I had to count to 6. I could do that. I have a lot of people that will say to me, I would eat healthy if I just knew how. We're going to teach you that. And to circle back around earlier to what Dan was saying earlier, with this habits of health system that Dr. A has created, he's going to teach you in this process not only how to eat healthy during the weight loss phase. Some of you are just looking for good nutrition. You're not looking for weight loss. We're going to be helping you with that, but we're going to also help you create those habits long term. So Dr. A, I'll add my gratitude to the thousands of people in this call who are saying thank you so much for creating a program that creates such predictable transformation.
Well, Shirley, thank you, and you're an amazing example. And what I'm excited about for everybody listening tonight is you've taken time. You've just gone through Christmas, Hanukkah. Those are over. You got New Year's coming. There's one more week of the bountiful food, and it's a period where most people are really kind of feeling a little bit of guilt inside, and you don't need to. It's not your fault. It's the world we live in. It's an obesogenic world. But what we're going to do, and what you heard everybody say tonight, is we're going to teach you how to take control of your own life. One of the greatest things in our life is when we build self-efficacy. When we become successful, we build on those successes. You have someone to guide you. We have the comprehensive blueprint through the Habits Health System. And as Shirley just mentioned, we have these amazing Fuelings. So what I like to kind of tie this up is say three things. The first thing is we're humans. We're living in a crazy time where technology has separated us from all the important things that are necessary to really create fulfillment and health, radiant health. And that's what we do in our community at OPTAVIA. We're reaching out, saying today, just like everybody on this line tonight, for most people, this is their vacation week. And we're excited about being here because we know if we affect just one more person, we can help change the world, because that's what it's about. The second part is I've watched every one of these people not only change physically, watching their weight change and their sleep patterns, I've watched them in their mind now become something very different. So I wanted to end by showing you this slide, because this slide kind of puts it in perspective. If you look on the vertical axis, you'll see optimal health and well-being. And as you can see, when we're born, the red line at birth is that we're almost all born optimally healthy, and we're born with a zealousness to just live life and to thrive and to be an astronaut one day and to be something else magnificent the next day. And what happens is life kind of gets in the way. We're told 50,000 times no by the time we're 5 years old. And what ends up happening is we get into our adult years, we kind of think this is the way life has to be. You just heard stories from individuals who thought life had to be that way, and they show you through their evidence, through their stories, dramatic change. If you look at the line, we know as a client, as you raise your hand and become a client or a patient with us, and we can help you, we can dramatically alter your health. But you can see, if you decide to become a coach, then, as you heard everybody say, you kind of really get into helping others. And as you know, the best way to learn, the best way to implement is to help others be successful as well. So with that, I'm glad you guys joined us, over the 1,000+ people that are on tonight. We're here for you. We're here to help you. We love what we do. We're about ready to change the world. We'd love you to think about joining us in any way you want to. So please make sure you get with the person that invited you on the Zoom and sit down and say, what if? What if? Because we know that if you could create optimal health, we know how that will change your life, the people around you, and help us change your community, the United States, and very shortly the world. So God bless. Russ?
Well, thank you so much for Dr. A for being a part of our presentation tonight. And you brought it home in a way that I think people clearly understand, is that today they can make a decision that will dramatically transform their life going into the new year. And I would also encourage anybody that's been a part of our presentation tonight to reach out to the person that invited you, whether it be on Facebook or that maybe they personally invited you to join us tonight, and open up your heart. Many of us this time of the year, having just gotten through the holidays, are really struggling in terms of what's going on in our lives, whether it be physical, mental, financial, and we're stressed in every facet of life sometimes. And guess what? Today, we're hoping to inspire an opportunity for you to create health and hope. And it all starts with you and your connection to your coach. And they'll help you lay out some goals, lay out a map of what life can look like for you. And then very clearly, we've laid out the 4 components. We've got our Habits of Health system. We've got the support of your coach. We've got the amazing community to wrap their arms around you. And then we have a scientifically proven plan using our Fuelings to help you effectively lose the unwanted fat, get your body working the way it was originally designed, have more energy than you've ever had. And then as you learn those skills, our challenge tonight is that you turn around and help someone else do the same. So thank you so much for being a part of our presentation. Guess what? 2019 is your year. And it's never a great day to start a diet, but today is a great day to incorporate the habits of health in your life. Again, go out and make it a great rest of the year. You've got a couple of days to end the year strong, and we'll see you in 2019. Good night, everybody.
This audio may have contained the personal testimonials of some OPTAVIA coaches or clients of OPTAVIA. The results relayed in these messages are based on the unique experiences of the participants, and we cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. While you may be inspired by these accounts, please note that any stories of success have not been verified and your individual path to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you consult with a healthcare provider before starting a weight loss program. Yours in health, the OPTAVIA team.